everyone. Welcome to Connections for Life. I'm Ted Pete.
Can't wait for this. I knew it was something.
Stormtrooper Kubo here, reporting for duty.
Can you leave that on forever?
It's an
I
improvement.
really can't breathe or see for that matter.
I legit
and it's giving terrible audio feedback.
It is really. Take it off. It's like it sounds like you're in a beehive.
You sound like R2-D2 instead of a stormtrooper.
I think it's supposed to do that actually. Oddly enough, there's a speaker inside there.
Oh, it's you had your headphones inside of it.
Oh, that's probably it too.
I'm just.
I'm all discombobulated now. You're gonna have to give me a second. You guys,
listen, that was still a great entrance for being on the road.
Now he's turning the lights back on.
He's got to make sure he shuts the lightsabers off. This is.
I was gonna do some lightsaber tricks, but I'd probably break it.
I can't wait to see our Star Wars fans that make the comments and be like, "Where is that? How can I get there? And who am I paying to tour?"
Dude, you should see the rest of the room is pretty
Get
amazing.
anybody that comments on anything. You think somebody's gonna comment specifically?
You obviously don't know Star Wars fans. Clearly,
It's kind of like asking what kind of coffee you like.
Yeah,
We'll see.
we'll see.
You guys want to make a bet? I bet you that less than 5 people comment about Star Wars.
I'll take the under.
I don't like it. I don't like your attitude.
Exactly. I'll take the under.
That's just because people don't like commenting on our show.
I can get 5 people in this household to comment.
Done.
It has to be organic.
Oh.
Anyways, let's move on.
Is that Joe? And that's Joe Surratt in the top left corner, folks. In case you guys didn't know.
Oh, they can't see us. It's nothing on my screen.
How was your weekend, Joe? What was it filled with?
Soccer, softball. I got bit in the ear by a spider. I don't really know. Seriously,
Black Widow?
I think so. Brown recluse. I don't know. So I got something bit me in the ear. I don't know what it was. And for like 3 days, like my glands in my behind my ear and down my neck were like swollen, and my ear felt like it was on fire. And like today, it's finally feeling better. But like I'm just trying to ask, like, what kind of spiders do we have, or what kind of
Probably a wolf spider.
Little.
So that was the highlight of your weekend, essentially, is what you're telling me?
It was just something that was on my mind. I wanted to ask you guys about. There's really no highlight. We won Friday.
Woohoo!
Saturday we didn't have soccer. I don't really know, man. These weekends just flip off. I don't even know what I did. And now we used to record these on Mondays, and now we're doing them like midweek. So like I'm already.
I don't know when we can fit them in.
Yeah, you should have
our schedule permits now that the world.
Oh wait, it was the 4th of July, wasn't it? Wow.
It was.
We went to my mom's. Forgot. Yeah, sorry. Went to my mom's, hung out, blew some fireworks off, and killed. Worked out.
How about you?
Wow.
How about you, Kuba?
I'm in New Jersey. I came to New Jersey, and I'm still in New Jersey in my sister-in-law's house. Logan's playing a hockey tournament here, but just like south of Trenton, Hamilton, like Whitehorse. But
have a pipe.
we came out. What do we do over the weekend? We actually went to the beach. We went to Six Flags. We did a bunch of stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, Logan.
My kids there.
And then Logan started playing hockey yesterday afternoon. So now it's kind of hockey time. You don't really do much. You drive back and forth.
Do you remember the old Six Flags commercial that was that crazy dude that went? Do you remember that?
I think they only had that in your town.
No, it was the sixth. Oh my gosh! You guys, somebody comment, because I know somebody else has seen it. It was just crazy.
Really? Wait, let's slow down. So your over was 5 on Star Wars, but you think somebody's going to pop us a commercial in there?
No, I was just asking if somebody could identify that they remember it. No, you don't have to pop a commercial.
It wasn't a delusion of Mr. Surratt.
In the break, we can look it up on YouTube.
Yeah, look it up. Look it up.
We'll put it on the.
You guys are going to immediately
move on.
So listen, you guys, I was left unsupervised this weekend. I sent my wife went on vacation to her friend's house down in Wilmington, left me in charge of the children. If anybody's ever heard
of you were supervised. So you were supervised.
I was on, the kids
by your children.
Yes.
Your wife left on the 4th of July.
It was with fireworks involved. It was crazy. I couldn't believe she chose to go. But I got left alone with my 2 teenage kids from Thursday until yesterday afternoon. And let's just say, we got more accomplished around here than I think my children have ever done, because my wife wasn't here to say, honey, no, they've done enough today. Let them do it. We cut down everything outside. I built a fire pit. I got the dog cage set back up. We did so much stuff. My neighbors are like, I'm pretty sure he's using his children as slave labor. because my kids were out there sweating and working, and I'm like, yeah, this is how it's supposed to be. They're like, when's mom coming home?
Wait a minute. There's one key question here.
Yes.
I know they didn't do that just pro bono, just for fun. You must have bribed them with something.
Nope. I told them you can't go anywhere and no one can come over and spend the night.
Yeah, did you give them the phones finally?
I did give them their phones finally.
That area. We're back to where we started.
So they had their phones, so they had
got a lot of other stuff
music to work. But I told them, I was like, you're not going anywhere and you're not doing anything until we finish this stuff. And that's it. My son mowed the lawn. We moved like 14 truckloads of gravel. It was
at least you remembered what you did. I didn't even remember it was the 4th of July. Jeez.
Other than that, it was fun. My wife's home now though, so I'm off the hook on being like in charge of stuff again. I'm back to being just, the biggest kid. So we're in good shape there.
Who do we have on this week?
It's Heidi.
Oh, look at everybody freeze.
I froze.
I'm not in work mode. I'm in vacation mode, so the mind shut off. I literally was thinking the same thing when you asked that, Joe, and I was trying to process it.
Well, we started the recording so early, and I was like, well, we have to get the bio up. And then I'm like, oh, Chad will have the bio. Don't worry about it. And I forgot you were on vacation.
Not this guy.
So now you guys have no idea who we have.
I can make it up completely.
Well, it was one. I'll talk while you're looking it up, Joe. I'll talk about.
This is so offensive to the guest.
It was a great interview because I was on the top of a mountain with windmills on both sides of me, traveling back from work. And
it's not about you. It's about Heidi.
I know, but I'm buying time for you to pull up the bio.
I know who it is, and I don't do the bio, so good luck. Just because somebody else doesn't do the gas facts, I don't do bios. I'm not the bio guy.
Okay, so keep talking about your gas facts while I get the bio up.
You know how like all the other programs got better? like they've gotten better.
Degraded.
And this is.
I got it.
You got it, Chad?
Listen, I got it. I do. This week we have Heidi Brooks on it. Do you want me to be real formal too? My gosh.
Yeah.
Make me feel bad.
It would be different than what we
always do. Can you put on a tuxedo t-shirt?
So this week we have Heidi Brooks on from VCP Sales. She is the director of sales and marketing. She hasn't been in the industry too long, but she has. We talked about it. Her past is probably what really does it for her with being an entrepreneur and owning vacation rental business, owning boat rentals and all kinds of things.
Great story.
Lake Michigan. Yeah, it's a really neat story. So, yeah, that was pretty good for me and for not looking anything up.
And I just want to say to Heidi, we obviously knew it was coming on. At least I did. I know Chad's in vacation mode and Ted doesn't pay attention to anything. So
yeah.
But he admits it, so it's not like a surprise. It's not like I threw a grenade over there. Yeah.
No. I show up on days that we have to record.
Can somebody
I think that's how we all feel today.
Can somebody send Heidi a $5 Dunkin' Donuts gift card for me? It won't be me, but can somebody do it?
I will make it happen. All right, so without further ado, welcome to Connections for Life, Heidi.
Hello, Heidi, and welcome to Connections for Life. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We're good. What's up, Heidi? How are you?
Good, Chad. Nice to see you.
You too. You too.
Thank you.
So
thank you for spelling my name right.
We try. You did correct me beforehand, so I didn't have much of a choice.
How you spell Heidi?
Well, most people spell it Heidi because it's a German name, but in America it's I before E.
What do you got there?
Except after
what do you got there? Pitbull? What is that? What is that? What do you got there?
This is
cuteness in a brown bundle.
All right.
This is
Let's talk about the dog now. What's the dog?
Mally, Malibu.
Oh, I love
Mally. I like it.
So she's on my lap because I was afraid she might distract us if she wasn't.
Is it Malibu after your favorite rum?
No, but
Darn.
I don't. It's my son's dog, and he named her. But I said I was going to call her Mally, but he told me I couldn't start for another month, and I was like, I'm the one watching her during the day, so I'm calling her Mally.
There you go.
I like Mally. That's a good
one. All right.
one.
Well, enough about
Do you like Malibu rum? Does anyone like Malibu rum?
Lindsay does. My wife does.
Does she really? I like it in like beach
frozen drinks. Yeah, I was going to say frozen drinks.
She doesn't take shots of it. I mean,
The only time it's acceptable is when you're on vacation and it's at an all-inclusive. Then
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, anything you want. Anything you want.
Oh man.
Yeah. So anyways, enough about Malibu, enough about the dog. Let's get into the real meat of why you're here. First of all, thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate you taking the time to do that.
You never told me why I was here. Why am I
We're
here?
still not going to tell you. Wait for the questions.
You had a lot of
Yeah.
followers. You had a lot of followers. I mean, you had to ride somebody's wave. It's just
do the best you can. We'll see where this ends up. But in all seriousness, we just want to kind of start you off where everybody. How did you get your start in such a wonderful, awesome industry such as this?
Okay, yes, it is an awesome industry. I am new to the industry as of 2 years ago. In 2019, I got hired by a small supplier that had quite a few different product lines, but that did include pipeline coating.
Mhm.
And I had sales experience and entrepreneur. I was a business owner, and being a territory manager is a lot like owning your own business. Wouldn't you guys agree?
absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We all do that.
So I was surprised I got hired. And once I got hired in the industry, I no longer work for that company, but which has been fortunate because I work for an amazing one now. But I was surprised I got hired. I do have pretty good sales experience, but he did mention my sense of humor and enthusiasm and hard work would probably take me far in this industry.
Once you get in this industry, you don't get out.
Yes. If I would
Yeah.
have known of this amazing industry 10, 15 years ago, I would have never started my own business. I mean,
It's amazing. It's amazing. Most people stumble upon it. They really do. I mean,
Yep.
I kind of did, but I was a kid getting into it, and I was around family that were in this industry, and that's how I got it. I was lucky, very lucky to get into it when I was young.
I came through monster.com.
Did you 11 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, it's really, really crazy. He was still using Monster.com 11 years ago when it was done in like 2004.
I don't know anything, man.
You knew
Is that not a thing anymore? Monster.com's not a thing?
I don't, is it? I have no idea. I've been searching for a job in a while. I have
Me-
no idea.
You
No
guys
clue.
Oh, mom, with the interview. I'm going to see if Monster.
So I want to talk a little bit about when you were an entrepreneur, because I think we run into some very interesting people on the show, and most of them have that entrepreneur sense. And take us through the vacation rental stuff. You told us a little bit about it, and you, the other day when we talked before this, and I just think it's a really cool story. And I think how you got into it, how you got out of it, as you would too. Go ahead.
Yeah. So in 2008, I was selling print or copyrighted material. And actually all of my accounts were larger technology, like such as PC Magazine, Tech Targets. And that's where I got my digital and online marketing passion from, by the way. So I didn't realize.
I want to cut you off just because.
I got distracted by the chat. I wasn't sure if it was to me or not.
No, it's not.
Right
That's
now,
us just yelling at each other typically.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
When you say
So anyways,
copyright, were you what are you selling there? Like,
So
sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I don't really know. I don't think I know
no,
the
that's
answer.
okay. So in a nutshell, for an example, this will be the easiest to understand. PC Magazine rates technological products. And if you got a 3.5 or above out of 5, you'll want to have those printed and used at trade shows for that product. So a lot of product managers would use that. Or if you wanted to use that logo on the website, it's actually called reprints. So, and then the online copyright, there's a few different things, but the company I worked for was local and they secured contracts with
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It was.
It
pretty
is.
cool.
Like I said, I didn't really know what it meant, so I figured I'd ask. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So no, that's okay. So when products or companies or product managers use other people's masthead or graphics, usually you got to pay for that. Some people are nice, but not, especially now with digital, and that was online back in 2008. Now everything you have to pay for, give rights to, etc. Which I appreciate my check for this interview.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Yeah,
I was
yeah.
told I was the first one that got it.
Oh, We thought you were sending us one.
Just so you know, it's not going to clear, but yeah.
I'll send you a check for whatever you want.
Yeah.
So anyways, I was in print sales in '08, and someone approached me, kind of an acquaintance, kind of a friend. She owned a home here. I live on Lake Michigan, and she lived full-time in Ireland and said she wasn't happy with her realtor, knew I was in sales, adored me, said, can you book and service my home? And we settled on a service fee, and I was doing that on the side. And then as I was doing it, I loved it. I love my area. I'm very passionate about Lake Michigan in general. And so I was like, I could do this for everyone. So Verbo is called now, but back then it was VRBO, and it was a private company, and it was more transparent. I cold called homeowners who were advertised online and set up meetings, and I got 10 contracts within a month.
Wow.
And yes, and started it as a service oriented business. So it wasn't like a real estate company in the sense that now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with like Airbnbs or whatnot, but you know, they charge taxes that are hospitality oriented, kind of like hotels. So it's
12%
really
tax fee or something like that. Yeah.
So that was in '08. In '09, I added kayaks and paddle boards and bike rentals because there was no one in our area that did it. And then the next year I added jet skis. And that was my busiest year because of course the homes were growing too. And then, so I owned the kayak and jet ski rental, ended up adding boat rental as well. We also rented out fishing poles, things like that. So I had that for about 8 years, and I owned the vacation rental company for 9 years. And then I decided to open a restaurant because the only commercial property that was available on the water was a huge building and the cost. And I had been in restaurants since I was 12. A close friend, I helped them open theirs. I thought I could do it. And once I opened the restaurant, it all kind of fell apart. And I had just decided, I mean, through many different aspects and things that had gone on, just to close it all. And
restaurant business is tough. It's that's not an easy thing to do.
What was that?
The restaurant business. That's a tough one.
No, it's not easy at all. I didn't realize how much I'd have to be in the kitchen. I thought, you know, and not saying I'm complaining, even though I did hate it. I loved to cook, but I loved helping the staff. But I really thought I'm more of the front of the house person. I'm more customer service. So it drove me crazy to be back there. But the first couple of years, you have to. Part of the owners always have to be in the kitchen. I mean,
my sister-in-law manages 3 different restaurants, and that's not her favorite thing to do, but probably the place she spends her most time.
Yeah, so I'm sure you've heard a lot. I think the restaurant was way too big. If it would have been smaller, it would have been easier. But hey, I was happy it all worked, or you know, I was happy I tried it while I was younger because I was always passionate about the restaurant industry as well.
Cool.
That's wicked. I think it's cool that you've had that experience. I think a lot of people have that ambition to move out and do something on their own. And not a lot of people have the courage to do it. So kudos to you for taking the jump.
I appreciate that. I received so many compliments. Some accolades. I did a lot of charity work since I was 21 and I'm 40 now. So even before I owned businesses, but once I did, I was like double into charity. And I never spoke of that, and I never really paid attention to it because I was a perfectionist or work addict, whatever you want to call it. And so now looking back, and sometimes during it, I would think, you know, some people live their whole life without receiving a compliment that includes courage. I was very lucky to, even though, you know, there was a lot of negative feedback, I was really lucky to be in a position to where I inspired some people, or, you know, something like that. So it
takes
does
a lot of guts. It takes a lot of guts.
Yeah. So, and you know, my mom had passed away in 2013. My grandma passed away, which was like my second mom, the second year. So 2015 or 2014, or no, my grandma passed away the same year I opened the restaurant. So it was just a lot. I just added more work because I thought the rentals were doing well. So here I am, and it's taught me so much in this industry. I mean, the small business suppliers and the contractors, I can relate to so well. There's so much doing and, you know, so much hard work. And this industry is hard work, recognized as hard work. And so the ways that I can help them, I do anytime possible, because, you know, that the difference between, sometimes the difference between a small business success is if someone that you're partnering with or someone you do business with believes in you, that person is going to do whatever it takes to help you. And that's a lot what I do with like the smaller businesses or contractors. So
speaking of that, I mean, I think that your progression through your career has probably gotten, you know, it's gotten you to this point. I think all those experiences probably make you better at your job now. I think you have more visibility to like small businesses, also a better understanding of business because you kind of walk the walk, right? I think that makes it hard.
For sure.
With that being said, your current company is VCP Sales, is that correct?
Yes.
Did I get that right?
VCP Sales we started in 2020, and it's a company that was founded by John.
Another startup. This is what we're doing again. Didn't you learn already?
Yes, but I have no piece in it. I am just
no skin in the game.
Right. Yes, and I love that. I love that aspect. I'm the director of sales and marketing. It did, when I was hired, you know, did require me to be universal. We're cross-utilized at times, which is how I combine the sales and marketing aspect. But we specialize in 4 innovative pipeline coatings. Each one fills a niche in the market. One includes Viscotech, that's been around for 11 years. And then we launched 3 in January of 2021 that includes SCC Wax, Furs Composites, and Cold Weather Epoxy and Epoxy Line by PCS. So yes, the working for VCP as a startup and in so many different aspects through product launch, through sales and marketing really feeds my drive to be creative, as well as challenges me every day. Really enjoy it.
Well, that's so important I'm glad you said that, like about being challenged with your job every day. And you seem to, you know, with your career path, it's very funny because I've had like 3 different distinct careers in mind, whether it be I was in the military or I was in the construction trades for a while. And now I'm in, you know, sales and manufacturing industry. Each one of those was a different challenge. And that's something that I think a lot of folks share in our industry is we always want to be continually challenged. If we get bored with something, golly, it's not good.
It's such a liar.
For real. Joe shaking his head.
Joe
might want it more than all of us.
To be challenged every day. He's
probably
worse than all of us.
He's right. I think my dad said when I started the restaurant, he's like, Heidi, why would you do that? Because my dad owned a concrete business. An entrepreneur. He's like, why would you do, you know, are you sure you want to do this? Are you bored? Is that because I had been running the rentals for 9 years and I did have the same assistant for 5 and a great staff, huge staff. So, but yeah, probably was because I was bored.
Yep.
I hate to say that.
Boredom is almost a death sentence to a work addict or to an entrepreneur, to someone, to anyone in. Like, that's what I think is so awesome about this industry. While it is so small, it is also so large that you can never, Joe's been in it the longest out of the 3 of us, and he's learning stuff every single day. So for the guy like me who's only been in it 3 years.
And Joe's not the longest jerk.
With our company anyway. I apologize, Chad.
You meant prettiest, Chad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyway, what I mean though was like he's learning every day. I'm learning every single day still. So if you can continue to learn and be challenged, that's I know I caused the tangent this time, but I think it was worth it.
Do it all the time.
No, for sure. I mean, that's why self-care is so important, because as long as you're being challenged in the most productive and healthy way versus working out of ego or, you know, one thing I did learn, and I have very few regrets. One thing is not taking time. Part of being an entrepreneur or a sales manager, you need that few hours a week, whether it be on the weekend, unfortunately, to pass and figure out, how do I want to take this week? How do I want to, you know, make this better? How do I want to grow this? And when, as how I did it, most of the time I did do that because I had winters off. Well, at winters I worked from home. See there, I considered it off, but I worked just as much, but from home. But winters, I did take that, I did decompress, but once you get so busy and you don't have that time, you're not making decisions like that entrepreneur that was poised for success at the beginning because you're so overloaded. So self-care for taking that time to think and plan is so important for people that are success oriented.
I don't think it's just that to as far as business. As I've gotten older, and unfortunately, I mean, you called your age out. I'm 43. I'll be 44 soon. I think you start to realize how much, like, I mean, I worked, since the day I started till, every other day between, as hard as I possibly could. And the guys that know me, Chad specifically, I don't take vacations. I don't rest well. I don't sit well. And it took me a really long time to realize and appreciate that I have to take that mental health part to be able to be successful. And I think a lot of people get stuck in the fact that they don't. And I think that's why sometimes entrepreneurs aren't successful, because as much as you love what you're doing, you have to love yourself and your time outside of that. You'll drill yourself into just right into the ground and not be able to.
Absolutely. You have to deem yourself worthy for success. That's very powerful. I had no idea, but I've definitely learned it, and it's so true. And that's for anything. I think self-sabotage is probably worse than anything else.
Yeah, 100%.
It absolutely is. So at the beginning of the show, you kind of asked why we asked you to be on, and my next question in line kind of tells you why. We've met Jim through this journey. We've met Jim Kunkel, and we amongst the 75 other people that we wouldn't have met had we not done this, or however many people it is. It's a lot. But Jim speaks really high of you. Really, really, every time you talk to him, he says something good about you, and we know that automatically that you were pretty comfortable on camera and things like that. So, and you have about 23 or 2,400 LinkedIn followers. So, hey, you gotta give it a shot. Shoot your shot. But really, that's why. But like us, to be able to do this and to put yourself out there, what inspired you to do it, especially in this industry, especially being kind of so new into it? I mean, I think that's pretty incredible too.
True. I didn't think about that until you just said that. I saw the question. So I am fearless. I have recognized that. But okay, so Jim was interviewing my boss over one of the epoxies, and he was testing out StreamYard. And I was in and just to be nosy. And I thought, you know what, this guy, first of all, I had found him on Instagram, and he was very informational. Being new to the industry, I'm constantly looking at stuff
always
that I learn about corrosion. Yes. And so his Instagram was pretty impressive. And then I found him on LinkedIn, and then set up the interview with my boss. And so after the StreamYard and the interview, I emailed him and I said, hey, if you ever, because I just recognized, and then I followed him on LinkedIn. So I saw he really was into this online stuff and exposure and corrosion and teaching and things like that. So I said, if you ever need someone to bounce software off of or test or anything like that, or even guest host, feel free to reach out to me. And he did right away.
That's awesome.
And, I thought, I wasn't sure, I may seem comfortable, but all of us all seem comfortable, but it's not as comfortable as we portray, so.
Absolutely.
Joe pretty much does. Here's the thing about Joe, just so you know, since he says that, Joe does not prepare at all. Joe didn't know the questions until Ted put him in the box, and then didn't read the question until he had to get to you about 30 seconds before he had to ask it. So, but that's how he's not a good preparer.
No, but I get what you're saying. I think when you first start off, it's weird because you're talking to yourself. You're sitting in a room talking to yourself. If we were in a room all together having a conversation, you feel very normal because you'd be able to have the experience of being a human being and be able to be, see each other and feel people's energy and things like that. On camera, it's weird. But I think over time you get used to it. It's at least I think. I don't know if everything else has.
Well, you build a comfort level to it. You build almost like a numbness to the what's the word I'm looking for here? Yeah. Just all right. Got to do this at this time now.
True.
There's no more pressure to it. Just do this.
Yep.
I mean, just getting back to Jim though, I did want to point out, and I think it's awesome what you said as far as the education. He's really, really taken the ownership of that part of that industry, and tried to really make an impact that way. With his new
He
series
is
of school.
for sure, even with his build out series.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I definitely think, you know, funny, Chad, I have never prepared except for, and Jim knows this, I admitted it to him like 2 episodes ago, I think. I had never prepared because I was so busy. I hate the word busy, but I had so many different things to do with work that it was hard for me to justify during a work day committing to Jim and preparing. I did prepare for your guys's because it was personal, so I didn't want to, but I barely prepare. I'm like you, Joe. I agree.
But
You
that's
are
what makes
yourself.
you bad.
That's to come across. No, it's
No, that's what makes you
No.
genuine and good at what you do.
No. I'm saying it makes me bad when I do prepare. It comes off.
Oh yeah, you're
like,
not
I
great.
know, me too.
Yeah.
When I did the women's corrosion, I was like, I thought I wasn't myself. Anyways, Jim
Right.
Kunkel, amazing. His build out series. You can find him under James Kunkel on LinkedIn.
All right, don't pump his tires. This is our show.
Well, I'm just
We're
saying,
gonna have to
like,
get a check from Jim.
Listen, Kunkel,
Again.
that's too many pumps for you.
How many in a
I
row?
am really impressed with his work, his editing
Yeah.
skills, his graphics. We make a really
Put
good.
a lot of time into it, man. That's
He does. He has a lot of, and he does it quick. That's when
Yeah.
you know you're doing something that you're purposed for.
Yeah.
Is when it comes easier.
Easy.
Now, yes,
Easy.
and that's
I think, but that's who Jim is. Like, he's the preparer. He's a guy that's going to be dialed in on everything that he does, and that's what makes his show so cool. Like, because he's really succinct. I mean, even when Chad and I were on, like, he had like this long itinerary and stuff, and these ideas and all these things that he wanted to talk about, and I was.
Guess
like,
what?
Mike-
Joe didn't read it until 4 minutes before when he goes, "Hey, did you read this thing?" And I go, "Of course I read it."
Yeah, whatever. It's not about me. I'm just saying, I think that people operate differently, obviously, and I think, you know, for this atmosphere and what we do with our show, I think it's really, you know, Chad and I just talked about it. Ted, unfortunately, was sick a couple weeks ago. We talked about it. Like, we don't know what we're gonna say before we come on. Like, we don't ever even talk.
Well, we tried, honestly, when we started this thing, because we were going through like the startup phase of it, and we're talking with Upsco, and we're like, hey, we have this idea to connect with our customer base. What can we do? This, that, and the other. And they're like, well, show us what you're going to do before you put it out there. And we tried doing that, and it was awful.
We did it twice, and they were like, "Just go ahead. You can do whatever you want."
Yeah, that we showed them an itinerary that I wrote out and said, Joe asked this, Chad asked this, I asked this. We 2 episodes, and they were like, all right, we trust that you guys are okay now. And then we were like, all right, no more collared shirts.
Sign
Right.
this.
But honestly, I think you probably had the same experience, like from when you started doing the co-hosting stuff with Jim. I think it's really cool. Again, this is another interview where we get to talk to somebody that I've never met you in person. I mean, I'm sure we've probably been in the same location a time or two, but I've never met you personally. And it's just another example of, you know, as corny as this sounds, connecting with people and allowing that to happen really naturally.
I can't wait to go to a trade show where we all.
I was just gonna say that. I'm
Yeah,
super excited. Like, I'm like, just so everybody knows, you're all getting hugs. If you're watching this, you've been on the show or something, you're all getting hugged.
I feel
Yeah.
the same way. I feel the same way. Mike Lamont, he was, we were emailing, or he had emailed us after the last build out that I did. And I was like, okay, guys, what trade shows are you going to be at? And Mike's like, I'm in Houston. And I'm like, my boss, you know, lived there for a long time. I don't think I'll be down there anytime soon. It doesn't need as developed as other areas. But yes, I've never met Jim, and I would call him a friend or very good colleague.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Us too. So with that being said, where can people see you upcoming this year?
Yeah. Where are you gonna be?
Thank you. That's a good question. So July, a couple of golf outings, but August, I'll be at the NACE Central St. Louis or Kansas City
Purdue. Huh?
show. You, Chad?
I don't think so. Probably not. I don't get over that way far enough.
Okay. And then
You're going to KGA.
what was that?
Are you going to go to KGA? Kentucky?
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Next will be the KGA, which I
Don't
love.
know you there.
I can't wait for that. And then the Indiana Corrosion Society.
Nah.
The short courses, Purdue used to host them. They're in Fort
Oh,
Wayne.
that's the one
Oh,
that I
yeah.
was thinking of.
You'll
Probably
go to
don't.
that, right, Chad?
Mhm.
Yeah, so if
Probably not.
anyone sees me there, please reach out, introduce yourself.
Give her a hug.
Hug them out. Yeah, COVID's over, baby.
I had it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's 20.
I ended it.
I had it too.
I ended it. I killed it.
Oh,
I
you
got
were
rid
the
of it.
last one.
I was the last one. I was like, all right, I get it, and now
It was
it's
all
done.
the White Claw that killed it.
Yeah, you had all those white
Stop
claws.
it. Stop it.
Booted it out of there. But no, actually, that's a really cool thing. We haven't talked about that. I think it's something we should do going forward is talk to people about where they're going to be and what we're going to be at.
Yeah, that's for August, and then I'm still deciding on a few throughout the end of the year. Where are you guys going to be?
I'll be at the American. Well, Ted's got 2 coming up.
So, yeah.
Go ahead. You go first, Teddy.
I leave on the 10th to go to Nashville for UCT and the Utilitech conference. It's put on by Underground Construction Magazine. So I'll be there for that. I'll be attending all the courses there. And then at the end of July, I'll be at the Distribution Contractors Association venue down in Orlando, which is a great one.
I may go. That is an awesome
Orlando.
one.
Yeah, it's a great. The DCA network is amazing.
Are you doing the whole thing, bringing the family and all of it?
They're not able to come to it because they're actually on vacation. We do a 2-week vacation every year in the Adirondacks, and I'm leaving a week early to go to DCA. So they're going to finish the week.
He chose not to bring them. Yes, that's what he's saying. So he chose not to bring them. It's more or less.
Wow, Chad, I'm muting you. I don't like you anymore.
Yeah,
Joe, where are you going to be?
Well, I have the American Public Gas Association. That's in Santa Ana, Pueblo, New Mexico, which is in the end of July. Like I think it's the 25th, 6th, 7th, something like that.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't book my flight yet, but I plan on going.
You can't say the town either.
No.
Neither can I, though.
Pueblo. I don't know.
Pueblo.
Say Albuquerque. And then Chad and I will be at KGA
in August.
Cool.
In August.
And all 3 of us got AGA.
Well, yeah, that's the first week of October.
Yeah,
we all have AGA. That'll be a big thing for us.
SGA in October in Charlotte,
and we're
hosting
as well.
We're doing something that
show there
on
stage.
My dad lives in Charlotte, so I will 99% sure be there.
So you're not gonna come to the show at all then? Good.
No, I'll probably.
You'll be there, but not at the show.
Yeah.
No, I just.
Whoever owns VCP sales, you may want to check into that trip. Double check on that one.
Check the expense receipt.
So we're fortunate enough. Maybe, hopefully, I think we're working on doing some live stuff with the Jokers over at Coffee with Jim and James, Jim Shower, and
oh, nice.
We're gonna maybe do something there, and we have some cool things planned for AGA too. So,
where is AGA? Where is that one going to be? Orlando. Okay. That's in October. I did see that one. Yeah.
Like if you're gonna go to any, it should be that one.
You should go to that one.
She's just shaking her head.
Okay.
Is that a yes?
I know, but now that we went over all these shows.
Is that I can't leave my puppy here that long? Or?
Yeah.
Now that we went over all these shows, like after September, now I'm like, oh geez, I forgot I have to make those decisions on which ones. AGA's on the list. What about SGA, AGA? You're thinking AGA?
Both.
Well, before COVID, I mean, how many shows do you think I did a year, Chad?
Well, you probably
one a month.
12?
More than that. You probably did 15 or 16, Joe. You did some that were like 1-dayers.
In Boise, Idaho.
Love that town. Love that town.
You do actually like that.
Best town. Love it.
Oh, right, that's great.
We should probably move.
What have we been on for about 45 minutes?
We should let Heidi go because she has stuff to do. And I'm probably going to lose service any moment. So
I don't think you will. That's the best service you've had in months.
Maybe you should move up there.
Maybe you should do every show out of the truck on top of the hill.
Perfect. Next to the windmills.
Heidi,
no, don't show those.
Yeah. Heidi, I just want to say thanks. We just recently got to know you through this and doing this. It's been awesome. Thank you for watching our show. I know you have in the past. At least I think you have because you agreed to come on. So I figured.
At least you said you did.
Yeah, you said you did.
Unless you're a liar and you didn't really watch.
I just want to say good luck.
Of course, I support it. I comment. I don't. I'm not on every single one.
Do I owe you money for leaving a comment? I hope I don't owe you money for leaving a comment.
No.
I just note it down all the time.
I want to say good luck.
Your guys' show is awesome. It's an entertaining watch.
Well, welcome to the industry. I know it hasn't been that long. You kind of started and COVID hit, right? So it's like, but hopefully you'll be able to get really out there and spread your wings a little bit. So good luck for you guys in VCP sales and everything that you guys have got going on.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for joining us. Seriously, it was truly a pleasure. We enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Ted, Chad, see you again. And I will definitely comment on the next episode.
Okay. Thanks, Heidi.
Bye, guys.
Wow, Heidi, that was a great interview. On location from the windmills for me. So I really enjoyed that one as we bantered back and forth.
I like you're promoting alternative energy, Ted. That's good.
That's funny.
It was a great way to throw me off.
In Holland.
Holland.
Having Heidi on is pretty interesting. Just like we talked about before, just her background really opens it up, and I think she's going to do a great job in this industry. I think she's especially because of the social media and the influence and type stuff she's trying to do too.
Yeah, I think that's pretty impressive for her to be as well known as she already is after just a short amount of time in the industry, and a big part of that time being COVID. Getting together with Jim Kunkel and working with him on some of the things that he's doing. I really, she's a bright light in the industry, so it's pretty cool to have her and get to know her and make a new friend. Here we are again. So
absolutely.
It's a connection. That's what it's all about. So a couple of cool industry updates. As we had I missed what he said, so I saw Joe react.
I was laughing at you when you always throw that connections thing in there.
I love it. That's the name of the show.
Yeah, I understood. I've been here.
Oh, it is?
Been here?
Really? That's not what
When did we name it that?
Another ransomware took place. Another ransomware attack by cyber hackers took place down at an Alabama utility, and it serves about 22,000 members. Customers. They call them members.
Well, it is a member. It's probably a co-op.
In rural southeastern Alabama, they call them members, Joe.
What's the name of the company?
Wiregrass Electric Cooperative. So
I think you're going to see more and more of this. And like we were talking about before we started, when we just talked, I mean, what are they? I know what they're taking. I guess they're going in and shutting down like their accounting programs and things like that. Do you think they're shutting down their operations there too? Kind of like they did it. I don't know if a system like that. Bless you.
Thank you.
I don't know if a system like that, like it would be like Colonial. I'm not sure. Like, I don't really know, but it is electric too. So.
You guys are lucky again on Zoom.
It's really interesting to see some of this stuff because it talks about how they didn't gain access to the customer stuff. They just held the system hostage and asked for money, basically.
How much did they ask for? I mean, how much did they ask for from Wireville Electric Co-op?
$1 million. No, I don't know. Honestly, it didn't give the amount that they asked for, but it was part of a bigger cyber attack where thousands, up to 17 countries in a widespread assault that began on Friday were affected by this. So.
Wow.
How do you I don't know. This is so confusing. I want to go back.
We could have a whole show about this. I'd love to find somebody to talk to.
So, yeah, that would be a great one to bring on. Somebody who knew what they were actually talking about, so we could ask these random questions that we don't know the answers to.
I don't even know who would we call, like a Russian hacker? Like how's that kid next door?
It's not a bad idea.
The screen and we're like a black screen, no picture, and they did the voice from like the FBI thing,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dark
silhouette.
Yeah.
That would be great.
I love when people do that. I'm gonna get one of those just to talk on normal phone. Like on FaceTime, it's just like a filter. That'd be pretty funny.
Wow. Anyway. Wow. That's cool. I had one that I wanted to bring up. That was the article I read in the Wall Street Journal about California and their electricity problems already in the summer. Apparently because and I know we've talked about this before, and it stems kind of from California almost, trying to get rid of natural gas, even though they have some of the biggest utilities in the country there. But the places like San Francisco where they've tried to get rid of it. Fossil fuels. I'm sorry. But essentially, so what's happening in California is kind of ironic because they're having droughts like they do every year, but that's how most of the electricity is produced, which is hydro. And now they're scrambling because they're going to have blackouts to buy electricity from other states. And I assume when they buy that electricity from other states and places, it's probably going to be made by fossil fuels. Yeah. So you'd think there'd be some type of happy medium and to realize that some of this you kind of need in times of need. Maybe you don't need to use gas or even coal all the time, but certainly it's probably a good thing to have in your back pocket.
Let's be honest, when your grid runs, like, I mean, when you use a lot of power, and specifically electricity, it has to be generated somehow. And California is such a large state that, I mean, it's kind of like they're working against one another.
Yeah.
Right. We need electricity to maintain people's livelihoods and their lifestyle, but at the same time, we want to use a lot less fossil fuels, which produces the electricity. So it's kind of like a double negative. I don't know. It's interesting.
It's just strange
that are out there. It's a lot like, plus it's a lot like the Texas situation, but you have two very big states that have, you know, a lot of people that live in them, and it's unfortunate that anybody would have to deal with a day that's 100 degrees and they can't turn their air conditioning on, or you know,
it's amazing.
Or a day that it's 100 degrees and they can't use any electricity.
That's what I mean.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they can't do anything.
Nothing.
So
Yeah.
that was an interesting one to bring up, Chad. That was really cool. So
we should probably get someone on the show that knows about that too.
Yeah. All right, we've got some scouring to do on LinkedIn, and
if anybody knows anybody that's interested in either of those, please reach out
or comment. That would be great. We would love it.
Yeah, for sure. I know that we know nothing. So
and we know now that you know that Chad's on location, so we're not going to have our customary background, but with the high production.
That's all I got.
Show,
that's all I got today.
Gas back.
Ted, you
that's all I got.
Yours. Ted,
I know what you did though. I appreciate it. Joe's Gas Fact. Here comes weekly Gas Fact. Gas Fact.
Go to it, Joe.
Look, I can make a comment. Look, like this is like the video.
You can't see it.
How about that? Gas Fact.
That's better.
Much better. Gas Fact. All right,
Joe,
your turn.
This kind of actually oddly paired with what we were just talking about, but this isn't really a fact. This is more of just
coincidental.
But as you guys know, one of the big things that we're talking about doing now, not we, but the industry is talking about is biogas, right? Renewable natural gas, biogas, mostly. For those of you that don't know, biogas is a gas that's produced when organic matter decomposes without oxygen being present. So that process is called anaerobic decomposition. It takes place in landfills or where organic materials such as like animal waste, sewage, industrial byproducts decompose. Biogas contains less methane than natural gas, but can be refined and used to create a renewable energy source. So I thought that was interesting. So that's biogas, but renewable natural gas is kind of what it turned into, right? Like biogas turns into renewable natural gas. It's chemically identical to conventional natural gas, and renewable natural gas takes methane produced from decaying organic materials from landfills, wastewater treatment, agricultural processes that would traditionally be emitted into the atmosphere, and repurposes it for the use in natural gas pipeline and distribution systems. Additionally, renewable natural gas can be compressed, which is CNG, or liquefied for use in like vehicles. So with all that being said, I thought this was the most interesting. So compressed natural gas, just out of curiosity, guys, do you know how like the high pressure tanks that compressed natural gas is kept in? Do you know what pressure that tank is kept at to keep it compressed?
I believe it's I don't know, but I'm going to guess 12.
That's not close.
No, I think it's over 1,000.
It's 3,000 to 3,600 psi.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
That's why they go
kind of
when they break.
Yeah, that's what kind of blew me away too.
Wow.
But honestly,
even in the trucks, like delivering, you think when they have a truckload of that? I mean, I assume it is, right? I don't know if you know, but that's crazy. Wow.
I don't know. I would assume that they would need to have that type of, you know.
And people get scared of pipelines.
But CNG burns a lot more cleaner than gas or diesel. So it actually, if we switched to CNG vehicles, it would reduce emissions about 80% of what's comparable to gas.
But then we got to get the infrastructure.
That's interesting.
To support it.
True. But check this out. Estimating, you know, because obviously this estimating, if we could switch that over, like it would be about 40% less cost than actual gasoline.
Wow,
so
that's kind of wild too. I mean, I had a question back from the methane thing.
Are you all right?
I had a question, Joe. I don't know if you have the answer, but I wonder how long after filling a landfill in with garbage it takes to produce that methane like that. I know that's another question that we can't answer, and probably somebody we should have Well, that's an interesting
And
thing.
the Discovery show.
That is a good question. But I have to assume that it's probably relatively quick. I mean, methane is kind of like a byproduct of decomposition. So how long does it take organic material to decompose? Like if you have I'll give you an example. If you have like a, what are they called? A compost pile, like at your house for like gardening and things like that. Like you can put stuff in the top and like once you get to buy, like it decomposes relatively quickly.
So why can't we just create? I mean, I know that's kind of the point of it, but why can't we just create our own natural gas that way instead of drilling into the ground for it? As stupid as that sounds.
I think we can, but I think the demand far exceeds the ability to produce.
Gotcha.
Kind of like solar, for example. Like we can do solar, but the amount of battery and all the storage that we would need.
Like we talked to Rick about.
Right. Yeah. Who's Rick?
Ralph.
I'm just kidding.
You're such a jerk. You're not very nice.
I know Rick.
I know.
Rick Rowe.
Wow.
Rowe. Looks like Rowe though.
Looks like Rowe.
Anyways, that's we've been talking way too long. This show's about 7 hours now because I think Heidi's interview was 55 minutes. Oh, we got a puzzle going there.
Panning.
A lot of stuff going on. Just that side's all.
You look like you're in the George Lucas Museum.
You know who the director is? Yet you've never watched the movie. You said.
I've seen 2 of them.
No.
I saw the first 2 when I was a kid. What was it like? Return of the Jedi and what was the other one? Jedi? I don't even know.
Joe's going to put out a poll this week to ask how many if you've watched Star Wars or you've not watched Star Wars, just so everybody knows. So if you're going to answer that, answer.
I already have a better poll.
No, you don't have it. Doesn't matter now. You don't have a choice.
All right, time to bring it back in. We gotta go. We gotta release our
customer. This is a 4-hour episode. This is a 4-hour episode. We're gonna do like 4 hours.
We love you. Remember to click like, subscribe. We're gonna let Chad get back to his family vacation and hockey tournament. That's not really a vacation, but spending time with family is always a bit of a vacation. So thank you guys. We love you. We'll talk to you next week.